Today, the Group 77 and China Summit has officially opened for 2 days at Speak Resort Hotel Munyonyo. Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni was appointed to head the group for 3 years from 2024 to 2027. President Museveni took this ground and called on the global countries to embrace unity in order to solve the ongoing global crisis.
At the Group of 77 and China, we should continue to work collectively to ensure that we achieve an international economic order that is just and equitable as envisaged 59 years ago at the founding of the group. Uganda remains committed to the pledge to leave no one behind. In this context, Uganda has accelerated its national efforts to implement the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development in its entirety.
He also urged international financial institutions to provide financial assistance to developing countries without putting stringent conditions if the latter to devolve.
Call for the international community to provide targeted support to enable these countries to address their challenges. We also support the urgent reform of the international financial architecture to ensure that it is fit for purpose to respond to the financing needs of the developing countries. In our view, the international financial institutions and multilateral development banks must support the national priorities of developing countries without any conditionalities that infringe on these countries' sovereignty.
Meanwhile, on the same occasion, the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres urged the global South countries to demand their rights and negotiate their clear position from the global North countries.
The unity and tenacity of the global South helped to create the Loss and Damage Fund, but it now needs significant contributions to fulfill its purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations is working around the world to support the efforts of developing countries to mobilize domestic resources and maximize investments in the SDGs. Strong, cohesive societies can only be built on a foundation of advancing sustainable development, respecting human rights, and recognizing the rights of minorities and standing up to all forms of discrimination.
He added that multilateral development banks must adequately capitalize and must change their business models to leverage for more private finance for development countries at reasonable cost.
Multilateral development banks must be adequately capitalized and must change their business models to leverage far more private finance for developing countries at reasonable cost to invest in the SDGs. And developed countries must meet their pledges on climate finance. Clarifying the delivery of the $100 billion and doubling adaptation finance are an essential starting point for much greater ambition.
On the other hand, Dennis Francis, the President UN General Assembly, revealed that escalating tensions, wars and politics have risen to the fore, sheltering the lives of millions and putting the safety of the entire planet at risk. G77 plus China started as a group of 77 developing countries that came together and signed a joint declaration of the first session of the United Nations Conference on Trade and Development in Geneva in 1964, with a main aim of promoting economic cooperation among its member states and collectively address issues related to development, trade and international financial institutions. These have since grown to 134 member states. John Baptista Humza, Church of Uganda, Family TV News at 8.